Hello, gamers. I'm here today to mourn the loss of a great and wonderful pick. This may be the first game that I've casted since the unfortunate era debuff. She unfortunately has been debuffed by Odyssey Interactive, hit by her own primary in the patch notes, and she doesn't have any presence this match. But what does have presence is a different patch thing, and that's going to be Orb Replicator here, actually. There's a lot of them. People are eating that up like it's donuts or some other savory or sugary good of your choice. And coming into this, we've got Groundhog Day versus Furret. Both of these teams are looking, I don't know quite yet. We have no idea actually how these teams are looking, but as of right now, Furret is looking good.
FURT is looking great, taking the triple orb rep. I think that's a really interesting play, just having that triple energy. I don't know if it's good. It's looking pretty good right now. You know, big goal on the .1, but I think that's pretty interesting. We're seeing Overgrown Lemon on the slick kicks, very nice on the Rasmus character, and Aerial is being picked up by Sphinx and Spring Rolls, which is going to be very nice for both of them. I'm pretty interested to see how Sphinx plays, you know, known for the Juno. I didn't catch it, but probably just banned. Like, no Juno for this guy. It seems like the logical choice. I think I've only ever seen him pick Drakkar after the fact, so the Estelle is definitely very nice to see. And Groundhog Day, after that .1, really clapping back. Ripstick getting taken down to half health, and both barriers down. Things are looking good for them all of a sudden.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about this Orb Rep start. I think it's going to mean a lot, because a 3 Orb Rep start is as close as you could possibly get to like an energy start. Like, you could do a lot with it. You're going to have a massive energy advantage, like a slow wind-up energy advantage the entire time. And if that continues, it could be a lot of flips that Juice Asian has to deal with here. And right now, we are going to go into our game proper. As right now, Angle Senpai and Spring Rolls going to be trying to fight it over the core here, but as of right now, actually a really good strike away here from Ripstick, piloting this Asher, which a lot of people really thought was a dead pick until, you know, Barcode pulled that out with a prime time and made me cast a 4-hour block. A good roll, or sorry, a good score by Overgrown Lemon 5. I don't forgive RTF for that. I don't.
No, and you shouldn't. Asher is still showing up, being just as grimy as she was before. And honestly, Ripstick, I believe, has been playing Asher since the start. You know, since before people thought she was a good goalie. And just like, I think Ripstick is the heart and soul of this team. Just, this guy will never relent. We saw the saves that he was making last point. Just some like Sphinx got the strike beam, really nice confirm, and Ripstick just saved it on the edge. And that's what you come to expect with this guy, with this pick, and it seems really hard to get through. Like, boom, primary, bazinga, try and get through this, and like I just don't know how to do it. Things looked great for Groundhog Day, and they're looking great right now, but I think that Ripstick is just not going to relent, and so it doesn't matter how long his forwards take to get the barrier. There it is. Now get the goal, because he can just, especially into Zentaro, one primary just stops it all.
Yeah, especially in these corner defenses where Asher really well and truly shines. I think it's going to be incredibly hard to find anything, especially against the Zentaro. I think widely considered one of Asher's best matchups here, as I'd say that though, Spring Rolls finds it, a flip comes through and sends it to the top side. Obviously, one of Asher's weaknesses now is that she's very good here in these corner defenses, but on the open net, she now has a very similar issue as Atlas did. I mean, she always had this issue, but now it's absolutely made worse by these nerfs. So I think that if it gets to that opportunity, Spring Rolls will find an opportunity. But until then, it's going to be rough, especially as a Zentaro.
Yeah, with all this damage coming out. Very interestingly, Ripstick took Mom Boots, which, you know, recently buffed. Probably pretty nice to stop that with that self-slow, but you know, usually a strike shot comes out on the Asher to try and mitigate that lack of mobility, or something like Pauldron to just be very large, and then, you know, it doesn't matter how slow you are, it doesn't matter how hard it is to cover both sides of the net because you are just that big. But Mom Boots, I think, pretty interesting, unexplored option here. NAST. It looks great so far. This guy's moving. Unfortunately, gets clipped by the beam, and all of a sudden, rest in peace, Ripstick's wings. You know, but still, the net open for both sides. It's looking great for Furret because they have all this defense. How do you get through this Asher?
I'm not quite sure, honestly. The flip is going to be a way to do it.
Out.
Happened once, and it'll happen again. Seems that that's kind of the win condition that Groundhog Day are relying on. It's just making sure, you know, Spring Rolls has the energy, is able to get it to the open net. How they get there is still a bit of a toss-up, but it seems like that they've been relying on Sphinx a little bit there. But unfortunately, as of right now, it's going to be Furret's chance to answer back here on this .5. Good clear here by JA. The strike comes through, actually going to be blocked away by Sphinx. The strike from Angle Senpai not able to find its mark. But Overgrown Lemon finds themselves with possession of the core. The Tofu Fortress prevents any big offense from happening, but the play is not quite over yet. Clear made by Ripstick into the black hole. Spring Rolls worse for a warrior. Has to play for his life in just a second. So Overgrown Lemon now has a flip to work with. Unfortunately, is not there. Not what you want to see. But if there is a striker that could stall for Spectrum, it's going to be Ripstick. And it is absolutely something that they're going to have to do here in a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Overgrown Lemon has been taken by the Internet Goblins. A lot of internet issues recently, I've noticed. The Omega Strikers players getting shot down by their ISPs, but... Oh, the Flipman is back and ready to get into it. Able to get the barrier off rip. And beautifully done. And for Furret, their barrier is still up. They've got this flip on Overgrown Lemon, looking to be used right here, right now. The Dubu will be blocking it all. JA having a flip of their own. Gonna be looking to use that, maybe get the barrier here. Just anything, because in such a tense .5 situation, you're gonna want something like that. But Spring Roll's using his flip right there. Kind of scary because, like, you want to use the flip to score on the Asher. You know, many such cases, sometimes you gotta sit down and say, I don't think I can get through this. But Overgrown Lemon, taking his chance, able to get it on JA, who had the flip, unfortunately getting hit stunned by the hook and the pendulum swing. And that's going to be Furret taking that first set.
Yeah, good MVP here by Ripstick. Well deserved. Has a lot to work with team player or prime. Oh, sorry.
I see it.
Flashback there for a second.
Team player.
Thank God.
Save.
I mean, team player remains my favorite awakening. So very glad that Ripstick did not opt into it. Would have probably been the strongest pick in my selection. But honestly, this is sort of good news for this side of Groundhog Day. Pretty much all of the ill awakenings that Ripstick could get his hands on were probably in this draft, right? The hot shot, the prime time, the team player, and really only heavy impacts left in the cooldown, which is extremely deniable from by the forward duo of Groundhog Day. So a big win, because this means that Ripstick's scaling is not going to be incredibly strong going in this late game. And again, if you're in Zentaro, you're really going to want that to not happen. As right now, Spring Rolls, a good strike war, finds a little bit of a chip in the armor here for Ripstick, and for right now on the approach potentially.
Yeah, we saw the 1-2 punch picked up by Angle Senpai, having a lot of value early on, Sphinx getting taken low, but now we see Spring Rolls picked up Stinger, which I think is pretty interesting. Not a bad pick, to be certain, but not something I would expect. Ripstick making another demonic save, but it's definitely working on Angle Senpai here, getting chipped down. And Sphinx picking up Prime Time is going to be super useful. More beams. That means that a beam could be used for a kill confirm, followed up with a goal. You know, all sorts of situations like that. Just going to be more beams on this character who has such a long primary cooldown. Just going to be really useful. Going to be wonderful to see. But until then, a catastrophe in the goal box. But looking to get a little bit of momentum. The flip comes out. But now all these flips, Ripstick just used one. Angle Senpai's blocked away, but Overgrown Lemon looking to put it in with this one. Bang. And the energy's coming out. The value on this triple orb rep is being seen right here. That was a lot of back-to-back flips.
Yeah, that absolutely was. And I think it's if your team, I forgot what the actual breakpoint is. I think if your team gets like 9 orbs or something, it's a flip, I think, or something like that. I don't know if that's the exact. I don't wait. No. I think that math is wrong. I forgot. Someone did the calculation, but it's like not an unfathomable amount of flips that your team needs to get in order to actually give themselves like a full like team's worth of flips of energy. So again, we're seeing that to the advantage right now. Every flip that Groundhog Day, you know, doesn't take advantage of is going to be a massive energy deficit for them. So they're gonna have to want to play this carefully, or alternatively, right, which you can do with Rasmus Estelle, KO them, right? KO them, force them to burn some evades, get rid of some of those flips. That is another way to equalize the energy, and I think that's what they're going to do here, especially with a Stinger on the Rasmus, the primetime on the Estelle to interrupt those regeneration timings. So we'll see if they'll be able to do that, though, coming into this, and already it's looking bad for Angle Senpai.
Yeah, close to a flip, but staggered right now. Spring Rolls on top of this guy hunting, and not going to be able to get it. Does burn and evade, though, and, you know, that is exactly what you were talking about. Playing the energy economy through damage. Definitely a very viable way of doing so. Now, Angle Senpai almost getting taken out, I think, by Ripstick. Scary situation, but still just playing his life, not relenting here. And see, I'm seeing a lot of blue bars again. There's one, but Overgrown Lemon has one. Getting shut down by the Dubu wall. Jewish Asian, only one left with a flip. Not on the team with a million orb reps, so going to be just that much more important. Sphinx using the flip, getting shut down. Just... It's scary for Groundhog Day because, oh no! The Ghosty Stepney's curse to you.
Yeah, Curse of Doom would be upon ye. As the Summer Assault is overcommitted, Overgun Lemon taking advantage of that, and a bit of deja vu here from set number 1. As Furret find themselves here with a 2-0 lead. That being said, it was almost made up by the side of Groundhog Day, but this double barrier from Overgrown Lemon might spell doom, though. With a KO and a power play, it's going to be immediately found back. So now Overgrown Lemon finds himself with possession of the core, still has some cooldowns to work with, but actually loses a strike war, a last-second strike, saves it away from Sphinx's beam as... Oh
no! Oh no, hey. No!
You know what's crazy? This is not the first, I think, or the second own goal that I've seen like that. Where the goalie is just like, you can't strike on me unless I say so, right now. So
I go out on my terms.
Yeah. W goalies, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose it makes sense. Not a MOBA moment in like a conventional, I don't think this guy's playing MOBA, but more of like, you have your cursor really tight on your character, and then, uh-oh. Just a little bit off, like, oops, you know, and that's fair. It happens, but you know, not catastrophic for Groundhog Day. I mean, yeah, Furret. Not catastrophic for
Weeee's little Furrets. That's the full name.
Little Furrets. Yep. But oh my God, Groundhog Day looking a little catastrophic now as their forward has been assassinated in the corner, and now again still down a point, still 1 point away from losing the set. Almost lost right there. Overgrown Lemon going for it, but Jewish Asian able to pick up that save. And now Spring Rolls is back, looking to push forward here. Able to get the barrier on respawn. Beautifully done. And gets the goal. Looking a little bit more catastrophic, that own goal, as this set carries on, because now we are on a 0.5.
Yeah, you got to be kicking yourself right now if you are Ripstick here. Point number 5, like you mentioned. And even though, that being said, energy still massively advantaged, right? And even though it's only a 1 bar, it's 1 bar with 3 orb reps, so I think that is a massive advantage. We're going to be seeing some flips coming out very soon, but you don't want to get double barriered here. So 1 barrier goes through, narrowly saved by Ripstick on the flip side. The pull actually going to be evaded by JA, but unfortunately it's all for naught. Does get the core flip for his troubles. A good Sire or Glitch Pop is there. Pass up to Angle Senpai. Sphinx now assisting on the defense with the beam. Ripstick has now moved his way up, but now in a really bad position. Flip here for Spring Roll is going to be defended away here. The defensive duo of Furret hold strong. Now the black hole looking scary. Spring Rolls, though, amazing patience. Finds the exact strike he needs, and a comeback set this time going the way of Groundhog Day. I'm so used to calling them, I don't know why, but I see Sphinx on the team and I was thinking Cat Munch. They're Groundhog Day now.
They're Groundhog Day now.
You gotta be kicking yourself if you're Ripstick after that. Yeah, that sucked. That really sucked.
That was pretty unfortunate, and now Spring Roll's picking up bulk up That's everything Zentaro could ever want. A little bit of stagger, a little bit of power. Like, this guy's not just going to be smoked by Asher in the 1v1 now, or like 2 IME abilities. So, gonna be nice. Overgrown Lemon though, picking up the size. Also, like, both brawlers just made out like bandits in this draft. Wonderful time. Ripstick picking up a twin drive as well. A little bit of CDR. Going to be. Oh, sorry. So that whole build-up thing. Sometimes no amount of stagger can really help you there. Ooh. Yikes. Where'd that guy go?
I didn't even see what
We're gonna be finding him outside of milk cartons. Have you seen this man? No.
He's like a civilian at the boys. He just died. Like, really, like, holy moly.
Vaporized. Wow. Eee.
Yeah, hate to see that, but Sprinkles is back. Sprinkles is back, but the point is not. Ripstick finds a critical flip there, shoots it to the top side of the neck. JA, I think his somersault blocked by Overgrown Lemon there, an overgrown obstacle. Bit hard to get through, and again, Furret find themselves advantage, but as we have learned so far from history, that might not mean too much right now, as it can still go either way. Ripstick now fully on the defense. Bit of a rotation error on Mangle Senpai with a cyber swipe, but it's got to be accounted for. Ripstick loses 1 barrier in the process, however. Spring Rolls now on the offense. Good strike ward from Sphinx, another opportunity perhaps, but Spring Rolls once again going to be thrashed around by lack of stagger. The laser light show actually comes through, but it's going to be defended away by Ripstick. Now Spring Rolls needs to find the value off the flip. That he does. Unfortunately, it's going to cost him his life, but not before opening up the net here for the side of Furret. Sphinx with a strike war win, defending, actually stalling so much time, only 1 second now until Spring Rolls is back up. Overgrown Lemon loses to the Tofu Fortress, completely understandable, but you hate to see it. Whiplash is going to be here, actually almost gets it around JA, but JA comfortable with this flip, electing to use it, gets it right over to Spring Rolls, so it's going to be sent back. The glitch pop is there, and now Ripstick with possession of the core. Team player going to be a little deadlier here in these overtime. No one from either team actually going to be ready for it, but the glitch pop from Angle Senpai finds the perfect angle at the perfect core speed in here in overtime. 2-0 for Furret. Hey, we've been here before.
So, I'm familiar with this position. Yeah, Angle Senpai just doing a great job. I'm pretty sure both the barrier and the goal being picked up by a strike glitch pop. Really well executed. And very interestingly, you bring up the team player, but Angle Senpai also has 1-2 punch. Furret just has all of this core speed at their disposal. You know, a point comes to overtime, and not only do they have the damage from that 1-2 punch, just kind of advantage them in those longer points where they try and get a lot of damage onto someone, chip them down, and then take a KO. But they also just have all the core speed in the world they could want. Jewish Asian does have Hot Shot. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty big boon, but into team player and 1-2 punch seems a little tough to deal with. And oh my god, a battle of 500 hitboxes with Spring Rolls coming out on top. An explosive showing on the bottom side of the map. But Groundhog Day is going to be taking the first point this set. And like you said, been here before.
I think I'm old. I don't think I understood what just happened. Like, what gave him the strike resets there? I actually don't know. I think he just maybe he hit it with a slice and dice, obviously. But I went after that. I didn't even see it. But W Spring Rolls gets the flip out from Angle Senpai as well. Has a flip of his own. Yeah. Things are looking on the up and up yet again, as I say that the caster curse does hit. Sphinx going to take a lot of damage here on the defense, but going to be KO'd as well. The flip comes through. Overgrown Lemon with it, now dribbling, sends it up to Angle Senpai, but it's going to be called out by both Spring Rolls and JA. It's now the offensive play, not going to be quite over yet. Overgrown Lemon tries to self-pass here off of the black hole, but unfortunately not going to go his way. The Whiplash is there. JA, though, holding fast, and now Angle Senpai potentially on the chopping block for this play. Got to stay alive now in this corner offense as Overgrown Lemon finds himself with possession of the core. Gonna immediately lose it though, however. Angle Senpai though, there and ready to help. Team player coming through. Spring Rolls with an amazing shot. 2 amazing shots actually to mix up Ripstick here. but it might not be for anything. This defense has to come through by Sphinx and JA, and that it does. It's right now. Springroll's looking to do a little magic, but the no mix-up of the strike whip from the team player on Ripstick is going to give him the goal and just end the set like that. Hey, all good.
Tactical aura flare coming out from Overgrown Lemon. Says sending Jewish Asian on a trip. Here we see 2 sparks on the board and a little bit of size. Actually, 2 size awakening, some speed. And there's heavy impact.
Asher. Yeah.
Just like you said earlier. And it's just a good deny from both. Yep. From both Sphinx and Spring Rolls here. Going to be picked up right away. Very nice for Ripstick. Exactly what you want to see. The spark of leadership coming out from Angle Senpai has that focus. Going to be able to share all, how much? 7? Big 7.
Yes.
Hitting the department. A little bit of CDR for the fellas. But of course, 29 on Angle Senpai. Nothing to sneeze at. That's going to be pretty nice. And Overgrown Lemon picking up stacks. Don't think it's been KO'd much at all. Meanwhile, Groundhog Day, unfortunately, is just suffering so much damage. And again, just there's a lot of damage coming out. The 1-2 punch, Aimee with now 29 CDR. Going to be doing a lot. The heavy impact Asher is going to be hitting like a truck now. I think Spring Rolls is in for a very tough time on offense if he wants to try and get up in there. But not going to have a chance as Furret is just smoking these barriers, getting a 33-second goal.
Yeah, well played. And as we get further in these sets, right, all of these sets have gone at 0.5, which means Overgrown Lemon's going to find a lot of value out of these stacks on stacks, I think. It's going to be able to play a good chunk of the set with those fully activated, and that really might be the difference. But right now, Spring Rolls doesn't need an awakening to make a difference right now. Immediately gets 1 barrier here. Overgrown Lemon, though, responds in kind. Now an open net for the side of Groundhog Day, and this team player flip looking a little scary right now, but again, this heavy impacts Asher is going to have a lot of cooldowns here to work with. No problem for Spring Rolls, though, as he very easily gets that second barrier with a slice and dice, but unfortunately, JA a little bit too close to the sun, and that sun being the pendulum swing of Overgrown Lemon.
Yeah, Icarus, watch out, the Rasmus is right there. You don't want to get too close. But now, Overgrown Lemon taking us to this match point. 1 barrier down. Things are looking scary for Groundhog Day. I can't really fathom a super reliable situation where they can come back. I mean, Spring Rolls is going crazy right now, and that might just be what they need to get back into this game. But it's still down 2 points in this set. Things are looking incredibly dangerous. Spring Rolls now on the back foot, getting shoved into, oh my god, into the realm of staggers, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because a big KO is found on Angle Senpai, and a great strike, a wonderful shot from Spring Rolls is going to be putting it in. And, you know, maybe a caster's curse saying, I don't know what they can do. They just have to do that 2 more times, and we're on to a set 5, you know?
Yeah, Spring Rolls is going crazy with that, actually. I feel like he's finding so many opportunities where patience is, like, really paying off. Like, these micro waits to mix up, make Ripstick think just a second, and then using that moment of hesitation. It feels like he's really on point with it, and this turn is going to be, Sphinx, actually, getting 2 barriers for his team. Angle Senpai has to win this interaction, does so. Overgrown Lemon now looking to open up the net for the other team. Ripstick, team player pass, not overtime yet, so not deadly, but Overgrown Lemon doesn't need a team player right now. He just needs to get the barrier, and that he does. The pendulum swing is there, but an amazing strike shot keeps it going. The primary is there. Too many abilities being flown Ripstick's way, but Asher holds. Again, Angle Senpai and Overgrown Lemon, they have an opportunity to score, and that they take advantage of. And despite some amazing plays from the forward duo of Groundhog Day, it's going to be Furrets, Weeeee, shiny Furrets specifically, you are going to be taking game number 1.
Bang, great game played by Weeeee, shiny Furrets. I keep forgetting that's a team name, it's okay. But bang, slam dunk. I think that match was a lot closer than anyone would expect. And Weeee's little Furrets, Weeeee, shiny Furrets. And I feel like I'm in like one of those like marble puzzles where it keeps rotating and I'm the marble. Anyway, what I want to talk about that match is I think it was really interesting. We've seen Zentaro since the dawn of time, you know, since the game came out, and I think the sentiment has been for a while. It's been very up and down. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's the worst brawler right now. He stinks," and then other people are saying the exact opposite. He's still the best brawler. He's amazing still, and we kind of saw both of those in that game. I think we saw Spring Rolls getting shot dead quite a few times, which is just, you know, par for the course on the character. But when he was alive, he had these flashes of brilliance where he would go through and just steamroll all of his interactions. And the point I'm trying to make here is that I think Zentaro is both of these things. He is such a volatile character, and I think he's also very difficult to pilot. You know, like people also say Kazan is really hard, and he is. Like, that is also true. But I think Zentaro is kind of right up in there. Staying alive and being impactful on this character seems really difficult. It is, and we see time and time again, people will lock Zentaro and just be dead the entire game. And then, like, what do you do? Then you've picked nothing. You put your team in a 2v3. You picked air. Nice. But it's hard. It's hard, and so it's such a risky pick. But, and like, this would be so much cooler if they won, but, so sorry. But I think this kind of speaks to the character. The payoff wasn't quite there, but we saw what it could be. A lot of the time we saw what it could be. The potential of the character. It's just so risky to lock this guy unless you're pretty confident either in your own skill or in your team comp and like what you're able to accomplish. Just a lot to think about when it comes to the Zentaro character. But I hope we see more. I hope we see people getting better at the character. I'm a big fan. I like watching this guy, and I think there's a lot of unexplored Zentaro action that I've spoken at length about now. But very exciting game. I'm looking forward to the next one, and I want to see how Groundhog Day reacts to that game.
Yeah, we'll see. Will Spring Rolls be able to crack the code here on Zentaro, or will he select another option? Find out next time on the next episode of the North American Strikers Training Ground. But good thing you're watching this on a streaming service, because that game is about to be right about now. For you guys. Not for us, but for you guys. Okay, bye. Surf's up, Strikers. We're here at game number 2 on the next episode of NAST. Nasty.
Yep.
That rhymes if you stretch out the syllable. As right now.
Yep.
Hey, I'm just gonna steal what you said. We're locked and loaded like Drakkar. and we've started our game. JA now immediately on the defense. Finks with the slick kicks and a hot shot. It's going to look to strike shotgun quite a bit already. And Spring Rolls now looking to take away the Rasmus from Overgrown Lemon and saying, anything you could do, I could do better. So he gets the first goal right here, 23 seconds in. It's a good start here for Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I was revving up to talk about, like, the draft was pretty interesting. You know, a lot of character picks to talk about. Point 1 done. So, W Winkies. I forgot about all that. But you might be wondering, what's a Drakkar doing on my screen? You know, many such cases. Oh! You might be wondering, what's Spring Rolls doing on my screen? Slam dunking all these Strike Wars. I'm wondering the same. I didn't know that guy had it in him like that. That was wonderful. But one thing at a time. We saw in the draft that Estelle was banned by Weeee's shiny Furrets. I'm calling him Furret. I'm giving up.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Furret. You banned Estelle. And then Groundhog Day banned Juno because I assume they expected on this hotshot start that the Juno would be first picked by a Furret, which is smart. And so taking that away, but then Sphinx left with not a whole lot of character picks. Is on the car, and also picked Slick Kicks, which you mentioned earlier, Brickbat, and I have a lot of opinions about that. Mostly that Mag Souls is awesome, and that you should, unless you have like a pretty solid reason for picking Slick Kicks, you just put the Mag Souls on. Anyway, sorry for Maxwell's raging. A big water blast just came out on the side of Furret, and Overgrown Lemon on there, able to capitalize and put that in, sealing up the first point that they've scored, trying to stop this early set sweep. Looking good for them so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you mentioned. I think Maxwell's, as I've learned, incredibly strong on this map. The one time I did not say that, I was immediately corrected many times. Rightfully so, because saying that Slicks is good on this map is misinformation. Mags is significantly better, and it could absolutely do a ton, especially in some of these corner offenses if you get the opportunity. But as of right now, it's going to be an open net. A little bit of dribbling from Angle Sensei here, or Senpai, is Overgrown Lemon not able to finish the job, and it's going back and forth right now, but the flip from Overgrown Lemon is going to be here. This makes the play a little bit scary, but the strike shotgun rings true. As the dash forward by Ripstick gets one clear, but it's going to be sent back now into his goalie arc. Angle Senpai now looking to defend, but Spring Roll's actually going to finish it out. Oh, the core flip is not where you want it, and Overgrown Lemon now forced to retreat for a little bit. Oh, but an amazing Giga here by Angle Senpai. A potential opportunity. JA, though, able to defend with a core flip of his own. Kazan forced to play a little defensively here, but Spring Rolls with a good yoink takes it away from Angle Senpai mid-pass, ends the first set just like that, and probably going to earn MVP in the process as well.
Yeah, a swift first set coming out for Groundhog Day. Slam dunk that, and now getting a pretty broad pick, you know, can spec into whatever you really want if your Spring Rolls here. You've got like specialized training if you want to go that way, and he does. Other picks, you've got the Spark, you've got the Bulk Up if you want to take some power, stagger kind of late game scaling. The Prime Time on Rasmus also not bad. You know, what's better than one pendulum swing? Two pendulum swings?
Wait, the Prime Time is on your car, right?
Oh no, I'm like things.
Things you wait. I'm so dumb. Yeah, you're right. Wait. Yeah. Wow. OS listening moment, unfortunately.
The Prime Time on your car is going to be very nice. That's 3 shotguns. When we do a little bit of math around these parts, that's a lot, and can really help. Oh my God, kill that guy! That's what it does. Wow.
Shotguns. Oh, boom. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought after that. I had to reestablish what happened. And especially now with rapid fire out, any sort of cooldown on the Prime Time is actually going to be pretty dang good, even if it is conditional still. So we're going to be seeing a lot of gunshots. It's going to be sounding like a war zone in here very soon, I think. Another thing I think of note, right, Kazan with Stagger going to be very useful, just as it was on the Centauro in the previous game, with these very squishy brawlers as well. So we'll see what happens, though, as right now Spring Rolls finds himself in possession of the core. Actually, good patience from Angle Senpai, though. And as of right now, the interaction in the midfield is going to be one, which means a down barrier here. Pass splitter comes through, but Sphinx again, strike shotgun, strike shotgun, strike shotgun. So it once again comes through. Spring Rolls barely not able to get it, but a good death touch on the core gets him the redirect that he needs. A quick another 2 points here for the side of Groundhog Day.
Yeah, really. They look so comfortable in this map, just going in, sweeping. Spring Rolls on the Rasmus is just dicing up Ripstick here, and a very different story from the last game, where I think Ripstick was just an absolute stalwart wall, unmoving. But it could also be that the Mom Boots, we see him going into the bottom corner a lot, which I think is super dangerous on goalie on this map, because then, you know, the barrier's wide open, and with only one barrier, you definitely don't want to, even for a second, leave it unguarded, because one misstep and it could be taken immediately. But both barriers still up right now. See, not a whole lot of energy for Groundhog Day here. Overgrown Lemon, though, close to a flip, could be big for getting Furret back into this set. But until then, it's a little bit of a scary situation on the death touch, and really we're getting some hotshot gameplay now, stepping into overtime, just slow and steady right here on Inky Splashdown. Not what you expect, but definitely how this point is going. Oh,
there we go.
There we go.
Sphinx opens it up. Spring Roll is potentially an opportunity here. The Death Touch is there. The Strike Force 1, but doesn't find the angle. Now, a defensive flip from Overgrown Lemon, followed up by a good, perfect pitch by JA. Now finds himself with possession of the core. The pass to Sphinx going to be intercepted by the tap of Overgrown Lemon, but it's all for naught. Spring Rolls finds himself with the core, gets it through. No problemo, and once again, a repeat of the last set. 2 quick goals from Spring Rolls, followed by a prolonged, but eventually, Groundhog Day favored point number 3. And looking at this draft here, there's some options to look at, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We are going to just be seeing the size put in the bag. Big Rasmus coming to town, and that seems pretty devastating. You know, this guy's already getting so much done without the size. Just a little bit of hotshot and spec training. Now I think the size is going to really change the game. We see other thing I want to point out, Among Titans picked up by Angle Senpai. And I think this guy's already been moving very quickly around. But I think the extra speed's not really going to help here, because I think a lot of the interactions are just being won by like Drakkar Strike Shotgun or Spring Rolls being really patient. And you know, now being smaller, interactions are going to be even more difficult to win. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just full of it because they've taken the barrier and now scored the goal. 25 seconds, and FURT is back. But hey, who knows? We saw Overgrown Lemon pick up the heavy impact, which could also be pretty big just for all the CDR here. Maybe even taking a quick little KO somewhere. But until then, it seems like the team's going to be trading points because that is a big early barrier for Groundhog Day.
Oh! Shotgun comes through. Invisible Sphinx there. Blasts away at the core. Gets a quick point. Very, very nice. And I think Sphinx has a very good build. I think that that man is currently very happy with the drafting opportunities presented to him. A prime time missile prop hotshot build on this Drakkar, and this lizard can core control, I think, right now. There's a good mix-up here on the hook for Overgrown Lemon, but unfortunately on the rebound, Spring Roll is able to actually get the barrier that Overgrown Lemon did not. So now the water comes out, got to get it cleared. Angle Senpai, though, snipes away from the cannon. As now the shotgun comes through, Ripstick playing very patient here with the flip. Trades flip with the midfielder of Groundhog Day, but again, Spring Rolls just finds point after point after point after point. It's looking absolutely amazing. Has the appropriate skin because it's looking like a father of all the children that have been good for Christmas.
Yeah, really. Already on match point, and it's just been the Spring Roll show. You know, highest level in the lobby right now by a pretty wide margin. And you know, great dribbling by Overgrown Lemon, able to secure that, but now the ball is back in Spring Roll's hands, and things are scary. It's actually a really interesting setup they have going on. You know, we talked a lot about the Drakkar pick broadly, and I'm still here to say I don't think it looks great, even with the God build that he has. But I think Spring Roll's just been doing so much that Sphinx is able to just kind of walk around, you know, do this damage and do the, you know, still put out enough core control to be valuable. They're really working together as this one offensive unit, as these two forwards, and able to get a lot of big barriers, a lot of everything, just
Boom.
everything. And
Boom.
you know, the tide is calling, so the surf is up, and that's going to be a swift Groundhog Day W right then and there.
Well, that is Inky Splash Zone. Right there, I think Spring Rolls, yeah, went crazy. I feel like that is the entire story of that entire game. That guy went turbo mode, right? That's double the redirects of his goalie. And,
Wow. Yep.
Yep, killer analysis.
Yep. Nice. I mean, I mean, yeah. Today I will pick Mako and let my forwards fly, and I think we saw so much Mako value. The two things that I really think are Spring Rolls went nuclear. He just, like, you know, hydrogen bombed the lobby. I also think that Ripstick and Angle Senpai were kind of out of sync on the defense, which gave Spring Rolls a lot of opportunities to just completely boom them. You know, a lot of like just slightly off positionings or miscommunications that led to Spring Rolls getting between them, getting the barrier, or getting the goal, that kind of thing. And hey, it made Spring Rolls look phenomenal, but I don't know if Furret just isn't super comfortable on this map. I don't know, we saw the Asher, but maybe the Kai pick on Angle Senpai, something was different about that as compared to the Aimee, made them play differently and fall out of sync. Not 100% there, but if I were Furret, that would be what I would be looking at. Is I feel like they just kind of got run over by Spring Rolls, and going into next game, probably don't want that to happen, you know? Hey, team meeting, I don't think we want to get swept again. Uh-oh. But, you know, that's my thought on the matter. Big day for analysis.
Yeah, W analysis and W stream cutting, because we just hop into the next game right pronto. Ooh.
Ooh.
Alright, game number 3, and I'd just like to note that the first thing that was immediately banned by Groundhog Day was the Asher, and it's basically immediately followed up by Rip6 Dubu, so unfortunately we've got well, not unfortunately, but that's just the way that Taiko Temple is. You want your melee goalies, right? Corner offense, or corner defense, incredibly strong here in this map, so these goalies that could kick off this claustrophobic play are going to be very, very powerful coming into this. And another thing as well, Era going to be picked up. It's going to be a Era Mako Juliet composition as the days of old come in, which means that there is going to be some scaling here coming out for the side of Groundhog Day, which may not even need it, though. First point immediately taken by Spring Rolls, but some things of note, right? Fight or flight, team player start, both goalies opting into team player, both forwards, all our 4 forwards opting into fight or flight.
Yeah. Double team playered up on a Taiko Thursday, and what I'm pretty curious to see both barriers go down immediately. See Sphinx on the slick kicks. It just, I don't know. I'm just such a big magnetized soldier. I think that, especially on this map, it looks so good. And you know what else does a big core flip in the corner? These teams, it's like Inkies. We're back to Inkies. We're just trading points back and forth real quick, like boom. Just not even anything to talk about because they're just over so quickly.
Yeah, you know what? That's the way. That's the Omega Strikers that Odyssey intended. Really.
Yep.
When you think about it, I love my quick games. I'm okay with that. As of right now, a quick double barrier actually found by Furret. Overgrown Lemon going crazy with it. Immediately, wow, what amazing pass from Angle Senpai and an amazing shot by Overgrown Lemon. It's gonna be a 20 second point. Sorry, not a 20-point second. If only, you know.
That's a lot.
that's a lot of points.
Quite numerous. Yeah, just really well played. I'm noticing a trend this series is that one of these guys gets Rasmus and then just goes, you know, Turbo Thanos mode.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, it makes sense. I think it's no stretch to say that Rasmus is absolutely the strongest brawler right now. And I think a lot of a little scary. I think a lot of Nasty is populated by players who got comfortable with the game on Rasmus, which is like a pretty reasonable and normal thing. Got a lot of Rasmus players hanging around here, and crazy flip. It makes sense because he's the do-it-all character. He's the today I'm going to do it all, and right now having a little bit of trouble getting much done. Core behind him, and this Mako just really unrelenting, but now has a flip. Might be able to get the barrier off of that, but Spring Rolls is definitely moving around, looking for the dash punch opportunity, and there it is.
Not how I expected the opportunity to come up, mind you.
No.
But that was awesome. Good up,
Yeah.
Spring Rolls. Yeah, I never look a gift horse in the mouth, and sometimes you just take it. You take it and say, yes, sir, thank you very much, sir, and you move on with your life.
Don't mind if I do. I like right place at the right time, and sometimes that's what That's what Brawling is all about. Like, Overgrown Lemon, unfortunately, wrong place at the right time, got blown up. And, you know, sometimes that happens, but just looking for opportunities. And on maps like this, Oni, these double barrier, really long maps, you want to find those opportunities and capitalize on them as hard as possible, because otherwise you're trying to score on the Mako sitting there holding secondary. And, you know, another opportunity has arisen. Sphinx is dead. Angle Senpai shooting that guy, getting rid of him, but now Spring Roll's going on some heroics with a great ult in the midfield to stall out Angle Senpai, prevent him from getting anything done, and the flip to just send it right in. Groundhog Day will be taking set 1.
Yeah, honestly, really good recognition. That's something that I think is just a mandatory skill to be a brawler at any level of the NAS, is to recognize when you could force that 50-50 guess from the enemy goalie, even when you're midfield, right? That scoring kind of, that blue luck, demon eyes scoring instinct, right? I think that's exactly what Spring Rolls had, and he's going to be rewarded here. A 1-2 punch, and interestingly enough, a primetime pickup from JA. It might be a deny from the Rasmus to prevent the drum and bass interrupts, but honestly, Mako really wants a Dash Awakening at any point, and that's really going to be the breaking point, I think, if JA gets his hands on anything, right? The Super Surge, I believe there's one more Dash Awakening left. The Super Surge or the Aerials. If either one of those happens, that could be the breaking point that the side of Groundhog Day need. But unfortunately, it's going to be taken away. He's not going to have that opportunity, electing instead to choose the prime time, which, you know, has its own merits as well, right? But that just means that the scaling countdown clock is a bit scary. But right now, Spring Rolls is looking on fire right now. These Spring Rolls are well cooked, done, and toasted because, well, he's on fire.
Right, a fiery flurry of wonderful shots coming out from Groundhog Day. Just dicing up Furret, and well, yeah, I 100% agree. If a Dash Awakening gets into JA's hands, that's game over. Like, it's that strong. You know, you definitely don't want to be seeing that if you're a Furret fan. A great deny from Overgrown Lemon, though, and honestly, just speed on Rasmus, even in the form of Dash Awakening, is always going to feel really nice. Going to be pretty comfortable. We saw 3 sparks on the board that last draft. Leadership, focus, and agility. Agility being picked up by Sphinx, meaning that he could get strength later on and then have 48 power or 44 power and like, what, 13% speed? Which isn't awful, but, you know, your era. You don't want any of that, but unfortunately, last pick in the draft. Not really going to have a choice. I think a focus would have been nice there. You know, hard to go wrong with CDR, but the agility on the era, definitely not awful. Just not super substantial. It's what, 7%? 6%. Spark of Agility fell off. Wow.
Yeah, and 2 whiff strikes. A bit of a funny interaction between Spring Rolls and Angle Senpai, but right now Sphinx is going to find himself trying to march the core up. Ripstick, good use of spacing actually to avoid the hit stun, avoids the flip from Spring Rolls as well, and again another defense comes through. Oh, bit of a scary strike whiff from everyone involved, but hey, that's all good. Ripstick again defending this time, though, against the Taiko drum as the power play comes through for Furret. Angle Senpai doesn't find the core, sails right past him. The team player, though, going to be looking scarier here by the second now in overtime. Spring Rolls, though, finds himself back up and ready to go. Overgrown Lemon, no evade to speak of, so that could potentially be a KO if he does not go to safety very soon. Maelstrom winding up. Spring Rolls, though, wins the big strike war, wins another big strike war. The 1-2 punch carrying the speed of this. An amazing pass by JA using the Taiko drum, but not going to be enough to end out the point. Now the drum and bass come through, the ensnare drums, come through. Sphinx now an opportunity to hopefully get it. Flip. It's going to be out, but Overgrown Lemon actually wins it. Flip from Ripstick, going to be intercepted, though, by Sphinx, and now Sphinx using the Flutterfly to get into the right spot to baby defend. Spring Rolls tries to dash punch it in, but the Somersault is going to prevent that from happening. The pass makes it to Overgrown Lemon. The bounce comes through, but the strike shot's there. Good presence of mind by JA, but he's still not out of the woods yet. Angle Senpai comes through. Spring Roll's not able to find the core. He's going to be actually Kato. It's going to be all up to Sphinx here, but the flip makes sure that that can't happen. Good strike war from JA, though, as Ripstick using the core speed to his advantage here. The Maelstrom comes through as well. Overgrown Lemon gonna have one more opportunity. Angle Senpai able to find the KO, and Overgrown Lemon sink it in. That was an awesome point. They're hunkering in, and Furret find themselves here on the board.
Yeah, a lot just occurred. Big thing I'm noticing is that Ripstick has team player hotshot, which is going to be a lot of core speed. So these overtime points are going to be really nice. Other thing is that Spring Rolls just keeps getting caught off guard on the edge, getting KO'd, and you know that's the benefit of picking Aimee is just you can smite people if they're not careful. But we saw a little bit of revenge come out earlier this point. Angle Senpai getting knocked out, and just the longer these points go, the more opportunity there are to get, you know, those big explosive KOs or just rack up damage. But until then, Spring Rolls copping a flip, getting that last barrier, and really JA is just defending so well, especially into this Rasmus. Just, well, hey, curse be upon ye, but has been doing such a great job defending against the Rasmus, and I think Overgrown Lemon is not playing to the strengths of the Rasmus character in the Mako, in this Mako matchup, getting a little bit too close to the Mako, and unfortunately gets taken out, and Sphinx is going to be sending the core straight in, express delivery via Tornado right then and there, bringing them up to set point.
Gonna be really good IQ NATO. That was crazy. And Spring Rolls now doesn't want to be outdone by his midfielder. Immediately finds a double barrier here on Ripstick. Sphinx looking to walk back to win this upcoming strike war, but it doesn't go his way. Overgrown Lemon with another opportunity. The NATO very dangerous. Actually, a NATO so dangerous his own teammate actually evades it right there. Is right now Spring Rolls with possession of the core. Sphinx able to get the strike, but Spring Rolls just pixels away from getting the dash that he needed to get that final point. Punch comes through, but Ripstick gets an easy clear here to the top side. The defensive duo of Groundhog Day is there, but Spring Rolls, the patience with the assistance of the Mako move speed, closes out the sets, and now this is a 2-0 advantage for Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day really surging this series. You know, past game 1, I think was looking a little difficult, but game 2 was incredibly dominant, and now this game 3 also looking wonderful. The stacks being picked up by Sphinx. A lot of interesting options on the board. We see some size, 2 size, undeniable size, going straight to Overgrown Lemon, which I think is a game changer. It's going to be pretty pivotal. And extra special going to Ripstick, also very nice. That's going to be a lot of walls and a lot of opportunities to get more walls with that hot shot. Very nice. Spring Rolls picking up some bulk up for a 44 power on this guy.
Yeah.
That's quite substantial with the 1-2 punch. And that's going to be red cores before overtime, and you know exactly what just happened to Angle Senpai and Ripstick there. Half health bars in just a few abilities. A couple big booms coming out, but really it all comes down to this for Furret. They need to win the next 3 sets if they want to win the series, and it's looking pretty difficult. They've got to get through this Mako and not allow Spring Rolls to get anything done. And as we've seen, he's getting a lot done this series.
Yeah, Spring Rolls looking so dominant this time, though. Instead of the core control front, the goal part, it's the KO front. I mean, this is a disgusting build from Spring Rolls right now, and he absolutely wants to show everyone a laser fast core speed coming out. Catches Ripstick off guard, gets the point here. And now 2 points away. Groundhog Day wants to win. They want to put their fries in the bag and take it out for dinner. As right now, Spring Rolls is going to be spearheading that operation. Good hit stun combo here coming through for Furret, but not going to find the KO that they need. So again, this Mako speed is going to be deadly right now. 1 glow barrier going down. Spring Rolls going to try to make it 2. Sphinx is there here to battle with Angle Senpai for some possession. It's a strike shot once again, allows the corner offense to come through. Barely saved last second by Ripstick, and Overgrown Lemon now finally finds a goalie barrier of his own.
Yeah, that's 1 barrier for for Furret. Almost said for Ripstick, but you know, very similar. You know, it is technically for him. At second barrier, though, Overgrown Lemon looking a little low, dodging the beam, very carefully. And Angle Senpai almost putting it in, but the flip comes out, not letting that go in. Ripstick making a quick save on the core speed that Spring Rolls is throwing at him, looking for any opportunity to get the ball out. But a big snipe from Sphinx right in between the pass Ripstick and Angle Senpai was sending. Overgrown Lemon looking for an opportunity to get anything, but just shut out right here. The Mako Cage comes through. A big dribble, not blocked by Sphinx, but the shot is, and now a great layering of abilities right on right onto Jewish Asian's location. Like a missile on his geographic coordinates is going to be sending that one in. But it's looking like FURT has to work so hard to score, and the coordination that they need isn't quite there. And when they're both there, both Angle Senpai and Overgrown Lemon, they're able to make magic happen, and it's really coming out. But for Groundhog Day, they've got the kitten comp for their one-man machine Spring Rolls who can do it all, and it's really working out for them. And I think that's just a great way to play in this. In Nasty is just, if you can funnel everything through your brawler, and your brawler is just going to show up and smoke all the barriers and goals, that's a winning formula. And I think that this formula that FURT has with the teamwork between both forwards is much more fundamentally successful at higher levels. It's a lot harder to pull off. Go figure. But we're kind of seeing that right now. There's a lot of work that has to be done by Angle Senpai, and if that guy's not there to help Ripstick defend, things get really difficult. But if he's not there to help Overgrown Lemon score, things are really difficult. It's tough, and it definitely has potential to work, but right now, Groundhog Day's comp, where Spring Rolls just goes Spring Rolls mode and rolls them, is working out really well for them. Like that! Like that! Look at him go!
Jolly kick! Hoi! Just right there. I had to make that sound. That sound came to me in a dream. I had to say it today. That's exactly what Spring Rolls just did. That was awesome. Shaolin Soccer is here in the house, and now Spring Rolls has got to be feeling good. His flip going to be coming up in just a second. The question is just going to be, how can Ripstick defend against this? Spring Rolls is just feeling so strong, and if you walk, within a 5-block radius of the wall, Spring Rolls is just going to do that to you, and it's just going to be all downhill from there. The pummeler speed is coming out in full effect. A good clear from Ripstick, though, means that this power play is going to be extended just a little bit. The Maelstrom's going to be there. Takes one goalie barrier. Angle Senpai now back up alive. Sphinx now in a very precarious spot. You don't want to lose your stacks this close to a victory. But Overgrown Lemon finds the final barrier. Has to win the strike war, and does. A masterful play. Now evening up the set here, and this is FURT backs against the wall. They have to make this set work. They have to make it happen, but it's looking so tough for Spring Rolls, right? Shaolin, the monk himself, right? But as I say that, Overgrown Lemon, a double barrier. This might just be here instantly. JA now forced to play incredibly defensive. It's going to be up to Sphinx and Spring Rolls to finally make up for that as the Flutterfly comes through. A bit of a defensive play, but one barrier now going to go down. The dash punch is there, but it's actually going to be a trade for trade. This is huge. Now that the air is gone, the stacks are going to be gone. If this is scored for the side of FURT, it could be a game changer, but Spring Rolls needs to win this. The strike is made, but it doesn't go where he needs it. 50-50 now for Overgrown Lemon, loses the interaction, but the Tofu Fortress is there here on the defense. Spring Rolls actually finds it through! Spring Rolls does it all in a jump scare strike! He sends it home. An absolutely stellar performance. Player of the series finds a goal that I did not even see. I was just sitting here sipping on my drink.
Yeah, oh my god. I was sitting there like, W-wall. We're still in it. Let's go for it. And then all of a sudden, boom. Nightmare situation. And it's in. And Spring Rolls just a dominant performance. The 1v9 champion this whole series, slam dunking it in for the last point. Exceptionally well played, and that's going to be Groundhog Day taking the whole series, getting a leg up over a Weeee's little shiny Furrets.
Furrets. We FURT. Yep.
Yep. FURT. And obviously, you know, both teams played really well. I was really surprised with FURT, especially game 1, for how well they played. I think that they picked a really difficult comp this game, and I think usually, like, you don't look at Imi and Rasmus and say, haha, difficult, or Dubu. But I think these are 3 characters that just don't really synergize with each other that well. I think there's something to be said, like, Dubu and Imi can go together well because Dubu can hold on his own, Imi can go play more forward, but still, it's just, I think both Imi and Rasmus are characters that want to try and 1v9, and both need a little bit of help to get it done, and neither are able to provide that to the other. So I think they could make it work, and they were making it work for a little bit that last set, but it's just so difficult. Yeah, especially when you're into the force of nature that is spring rolls. You've got to hunker down and pick something that you know can really work. But still, well played by both teams. W spring rolls, getting it done.
Feeling like a roll. Feel it's springtime. Springtime up in these rolls.
Happy spring, everyone.
Yep, good work. MVP of the series. That's going to be it, though, from me and Yoshi. Yoshi will be moving on to our next series now. Catch you all around. Bye.
Bye.